Protect your car with 3W Liners all-weather floor mats. Made from durable materials like TPE and rubber, our mats are designed to withstand rain, snow, and mud with deep grooves to trap dirt and liquids. For a custom fit and advanced protection, visit 3W Liners. That's the number 3, WLINERS.com today. At Acasis, innovation drives us. Since 2008, we've been creating cutting-edge technology products that make your life easier. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit Acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com. Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. From gourmet snacks to unique finds, each box is tailored to your taste. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.
Hello and welcome in. It's the Cam Show on Rogue Media Sports Network. I'm Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeping us on the air. We are live here on YouTube, just the way that we are every weekday live at high noon Eastern time on YouTube. And then, folks, wherever you get your podcast. We're going to hit free agency heavy and hard today, building off the live stream we did yesterday after the Patriots had made most of their moves. We did it yesterday afternoon before the Matt Collins deal. But there is an argument to be made that the Patriots won day one of NFL free agency tampering period, which is essentially the first day of NFL free agency. So we'll break down the moves, mostly on defense, and a little bit of help for Drake May as well. Just a little bit of help. Plus, we will look at the thing that just happened in spring training that might actually help the Red Sox make the playoffs more than any move they made in the offseason. Garrett Cole out for the entire year. The Yankees in shambles, ? Plus a new report coming out about the numbers and the contract negotiations between Brad Marchand and the Boston Bruins. Whose side are you going to be on after you hear this? All that and more coming up on The Cam Show. First, of course, we start with day one of tampering. I keep wanting to say day one of free agency, but technically you're not allowed to say that. Free agency tampering day, that is what that was yesterday. And the Patriots made some big time moves. The Patriots start free agency tampering with a bang. And it's mostly on defense. Mike Vrabel came in here and said, your linebackers suck, and we need to improve this defense more than anything else. So he goes out, and before about 3 o'clock Eastern time yesterday, they've made 5 signings, and 4 of them are on the defensive side of the football. They make an extra defensive tackle signing after that, and then a wide receiver signing after that. So that puts us the quick Baylor math here, 7 deals on the day, and 5 of them were on the defensive side of the ball. Of course, the big one, Milton Williams. And I do mean big, okay? Not just because he's a massive defensive lineman, but because it is literally the biggest contract the Patriots have ever given out. Tom Brady's $25 million a year. So long, big boy. Now we got a guy making $26 million a year. Milton Williams from the Philadelphia Eagles. 4 years, 104. Again, 26 a year, $63 million guaranteed. And if you're looking at who the best guys were on the free agency market, everyone's got a different opinion in terms of what their teams are looking for, what the fit is like, and all that. But if you're a team in the Patriots that has money to spend and sucks everywhere but quarterback, you went out and you got a guy that looked like he was going to sign with another team. Looked like the Carolina Panthers were going to have him. Some are saying they overpaid. I don't think they overpaid. I think a lot of the projections had Milton Williams about $24 to $25 million a year. He's making 26 with the Patriots. And he's young. He's going to turn 26 this year. He's 25 right now. He's about to enter into his prime, potentially. And he's got a Super Bowl ring, or will by the time he gets to your training camp this summer. So I know there were people knocking the Patriots for the age of the guys they signed. 5 guys, well, actually 6 with the Matt Collins deal, but that are 28 years or older. That includes Austin Hooper, whom they re-signed. So I've heard Patriots fans and sports talk radio people complaining about it today. And to which I say, what do you think free agency is? Free agency is not littered with 25-year-olds who can play. Like, that's a rarity. And the Patriots, I mean, look how many were out there. Were there any more other than Milton Williams who were legit going to be big money free agents that are in their prime or about to enter their prime? No, those guys get re-signed. They get extended. They don't make it to market. The Patriots had a good opportunity where the Eagles can't sign everybody. They've got talent at that position. They didn't necessarily need to go out there and pay Milton Williams close to $30 million a year. So I don't know how you can be upset with kind of the haul the Patriots got yesterday. Yeah, they signed a bunch of guys who are 28 or older, but that is free agency. Like, you know, That is what it is. It's the same thing that happened last time you had money to spend in 2021. You went out and got Matthew Judon. Like, Milton Williams is younger than that. And he's the only guy that I think you can point to, maybe Carlton Davis as well, we'll talk about in a second, where you point to and say, by the time the Patriots are getting good again, this guy will still be a big part of it, right? At 4 years and turning 26 this year. Now, there are some drawbacks to Milton Williams, right? I mean, he might have still been the best defensive lineman on the market, but he only played half the snaps for the Eagles last year. The Eagles had an embarrassment of riches of guys they could rotate in. Their defensive lines have been incredible the last 4 or 5 years, and really under Nick Sirianni, they've been terrific. The Patriots do not have that luxury. They're hoping that Christian Barmore can still have a career in the NFL, unfortunately. So they don't have that kind of leeway. Whether that means Milton Williams is going to have to play more than 50% of the snaps, or what it more likely means is that he'll still probably hover around that same snap count, but just won't have the same impact. Bottom line is you're better. He was probably the best player that you could go out and get that you had to pivot to. And the Patriots went out and got him and pried him from another team. And you can bitch about how the Panthers suck too, and sort of the Cardinals, the other teams that were interested, but that's your competition right now. When you've won 8 games in the last 2 years, that is your competition. That's who you're competing for draft picks, and yeah, for free agents too. So to me, that's a win for the Patriots. And that was the biggest signing of the day. You didn't have to overpay, I don't think, from all the projections that we saw. He had he's now the 3rd highest paid interior defensive lineman behind Chris Jones and Christian Wilkins. And he's the 3rd ranked pass rusher for interior defensive lineman, according to PFF, for the 2024 season. So we can get after the quarterback a little bit. 5 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, 10 QB hits last year. It's not like he's just a run stuffer. And apparently might not be much of that. The other big one that you made on the defensive side yesterday was Carlton Davis, the cornerback from Detroit. You remember he played for Tampa, won the Super Bowl with Tampa on that Brady team. This one, you did overpay, but we knew the Patriots were going to have to do that. 3 years, $60 million. A lot of the projections had him going between 42 and 45 million in his contract. He gets 60 from the Patriots, 34.5 million guaranteed. Obviously played for their new DC, Terrell Williams, last year in Detroit. He's got a big injury history. He's never played a full season. And it's sometimes freak stuff. Like last year, he missed the end of the season for the Lions. And by the way, their defense got pretty significantly worse when he was out with a broken jaw. So good news that it's not lingering, or it shouldn't be a lingering injury, but also it's something that happens every year. Now, you have him on the opposite side of Christian Gonzalez. That should be a formidable, a potent defensive backfield. You just got to make sure he's on the field. That's all. Ben Solak had him as the most underrated free agent who can be a huge steal in this free agency. He just turned 28 in December, so still at a 28 or above, but still in a decent age for you. It's a guy who takes a lot of chances. Had 7 penalties last year too. For a guy who didn't play all 17 games, not even close. That's the only issue with Carlton Davis, other than the fact that you overpaid for him, is that he has a tough time staying on the field. And if you do have that defensive backfield of Christian Gonzalez, or in terms of outside corners, Christian Gonzalez on one side and Carlton Davis on the other, and hey, still the opportunity potentially to have Travis Hunter, that's a huge improvement. Huge improvement. In fact, the Patriots are much better today than they were on Monday morning, on Sunday evening. Much better with these deals. And you throw in, Harold Landry, I think is actually a decent deal. His PFF, this is a fascinating one. His PFF rush grade's not that great, but he gets sacks. Like he missed the whole season in 22, and in 21, 23, 24, he combined for 31.5 sacks for a guy who's not that big. So he could still get to the quarterback. 19 and a half sacks the last 2 years after that injury. So he's producing before and after the injury that kept him out in 2022. Robert Spillane, I got nothing. He's top 5 in the lead in tackles last year for a bad Raiders team. And everyone, like all these stories you see about him is everyone loves him, except for the fact that he keeps getting cut. He keeps getting let loose. He's played for a couple different teams. He was actually signed as an undrafted free agent by Vrabel in Tennessee. There's a lot of connections here outside of Milton Williams, right? Landry obviously played for him in Tennessee. Spillane played for him in Tennessee. Carlton Davis played for Terrell Williams. Absolutely, there's a lot of connections there. Robert Spillane does not do much of anything for me. Just kind of a depth guy. More of a run-stopping guy, which the Patriots need a ton of help with. And they got that with Spillane and with Milton Williams to some extent. 3 years and $37 million for Spillane. That is just the classic. You're getting a guy to get a guy, right? That's what you're doing. But the big fish of the day, of course, is Milton Williams. I mean, this is a big time move, and I think what impresses me the most about this and why I'm most optimistic about it is that was a pivot move by the Patriots, according to all reports. Right? That their target going into the day was Chris Godwin at wide receiver. Godwin extended with the Tampa Bay Bucks. So, okay, you lose out on that. And it wasn't a case of, hey, all right, let's go to the next best wide receiver and overpay him. The Patriots had a big board. And they said, okay, fine. We don't have Chris Godwin. Our next guy is Milton Williams, a game wrecker from the Super Bowl champions who just had an awesome Super Bowl game. And they went out and got him. And some will disagree. I didn't think they had to overpay for him. For all the projections that we saw going into free agency, this was pretty consistent with it. So they went out, they had a guy that they wanted, that they went out and took from another team, essentially, with all the reports going into lunchtime yesterday were they're just working out the finite details, but he's a Carolina Panther. And you didn't have to grossly overpay for the guy. So I'm in. It sucks that now the report, I believe it was from Phil Perry, had the fact that the Patriots were going to pay somewhere in the neighborhood of $20 million more than the Bucs were going to for Chris Godwin, and he turned it down. You had to pay the suck tax a little bit there, but this was the next guy you identified in Milton Williams, and you went out and got him. So to me, that's a win for the Patriots. And if you look at the rest of the moves that teams made around the league yesterday, you could argue that the Patriots won day one of free agency. And I've only talked about it on the defensive side of the ball because they did make some moves on the offensive side too. The two biggest things you needed, maybe of any position group, but certainly on the offensive side of the ball going into this free agency period for the Patriots were protect Drake May, help Drake May. Get an NFL caliber tackle, which you have not had. You did not have last year and arguably the year before. And get him a weapon or two. Get someone he can throw to. And you went a little bit bargain bin hunting and you got some. I say a little bit because obviously there's not a lot of tackles out there on the free agency market. Cam Robinson, bad. Really not good. Allowed the most pressures in the league last year. Glad they didn't go out and get him, although I guess there's still time. You went out and got Morgan Moses, who I think a lot of teams were turned off from, but by the fact that he's, 32, 33 years old. This is going to be year 13. So he's like, 33, 34. 34. So be his 13th year in the league. So a lot of people are turned off by that. Patriots get him 3 years, $24 million. It's also, kind of stinks that he's a right tackle. He doesn't play left tackle. Hasn't played it in his whole career. He's dependable at right tackle, but maybe not necessarily versatile in that sense. But you went out and get him on a 3-year deal, relatively short money, and really what this is a gap guy, bridge guy. So that at some point, this year and next, you're probably going to be, taking a chance or two on some tackles in the NFL draft, and they can learn under this guy. And if they don't work out, then you've got a guy in Morgan Moses, who's played in this league a long time. Obviously played for the Jets last year. Didn't have the best year. Neither did the Jets. But that's one where you improved your offensive line there. The other one is Matt Collins. You went out and got Matt Collins from another divisional rival, the Buffalo Bills, and you got a receiver for Drake May to throw to. Now, I've downloaded 4 pictures of Matt Collins and the crazy outfits that he wears going into games, but StreamYard will not accept any of them, so I can't show you any of these pictures of Matt Collins. But he had a pretty solid year for the Bills last year. In fact, he was the touchdown receptions leader for the Bills last year. Wrong side of 30, 32. Going to be 32 this year, I should say, by the beginning of the regular season. But he is a guy who can still play. And this is a position where typically those legs do slow down on the wrong side of 30, but it's so easy at wide receiver to kind of measure production. And so there's a couple guys out there that I'm like, I don't care that they're 30. Matt Collins would not have been at the top of my list, but he's something. He was their leading touchdowns guy last year with 5. He had 378 yards. Like this is not a game-breaking receiver here. This is Chris Hogan without Tom Brady yet. So it's something. He had 31 catches. I guess the bright spot is his best year in the league was in 2022. He had 94 targets that year, 57 catches, 690, and 4 touchdowns. He was a real impact receiver that year for the Las Vegas Raiders, for head coach Josh McDaniels. That's a guy he went out and got pretty much right away after seeing him a little bit in Miami. He'd been played a lot of special teams, became a bit of a starting receiver in Miami. McDaniels went out and got him for Vegas. This is his 4th team in 4 years and his 6th team overall. But I guess the silver lining there is you got a guy that's productive for Josh McDaniels. But other than that, I can't say this was a huge win for the Patriots offense. And there is going to be the rumblings and the questions of if this is all they're doing in free agency, is that going to be enough for Drake May? Is that going to be enough for Patriots fans to say, yeah, this was a successful offseason, a successful free agency? On one hand, you need to bolster your whole team, and they've certainly bolstered their defense. But on the other hand, you just went through a kind of an iteration of a rebuild or a retool when you drafted Mac Jones. You had good pieces the first year. The second year, you were focused mainly on defense, let everything go to shit on offense, and his career was stunted. And the next year, you won 4 games. So I think there has to be some consideration to how are we building this team different than in years past? How are we building this team around the quarterback like so many contenders do? The way that, Buffalo did, the way that the Eagles did. I know the Eagles have a great defensive line and a great defense overall, but the first things they had were Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. And then they had a great defense. Buffalo started attracting better players eventually, but they went defense first. Is that the model they go to? So it's an interesting one to kind of build around. Kansas City built around quarterback and then made a great defense with Spagnuolo. So is this the way the Patriots can go in 2025 with a good young quarterback, a very promising young quarterback, and risk stunting his growth the same way they did with Mac Jones? Drake May is better than Mac Jones. He has a better upside than Mac Jones. But we were ready for Mac Jones to be the franchise quarterback after the 2021 season. And they didn't build around him offensively. They let good players go and replace them with worse players. I'm thinking about the Jacoby Myers to Juju Smith-Schuster downgrade. Things like that. And you built around a defense and you thought, in Bill we trust. I certainly did. In Bill we trust. He wants to bring in a special teams coordinator and a defensive coordinator to be basically co-OCs and mold this young quarterback. Sure. Why the fuck not? What's the worst that could happen? So at least that's not going to happen again. But you do have to wonder if they don't add anything offensively other than Morgan Moses and Mac Hollins, if you're doing a disservice to your quarterback. I thought they had a great first day of free agency on the defensive side. I can't say the same about the offense. And, there's only so much you can do when Chris Godwin, extends with Tampa for potentially $20 million less than what you were going to pay him. I mean, you can't kidnap the guy. This isn't Celtic pride. You can't do that. And DK Metcalf was traded. You didn't want him. I probably didn't want him either way. You're going to have a chance at veteran receivers. So before any of the Boston sports media loses their mind, you're not going to sign out. You're not going to go out and sign a big-time 25-year-old wide receiver in free agency. It's not going to happen. If you're going to sign a free agent wide receiver, it's going to be someone on the wrong side of 28. And this was one in Mac Hollins. Not huge money, but doesn't inspire a ton. Again, Chris Hogan didn't really catch on anywhere else. That's what Mac Hollins is going to be for you. He's going to be Chris Hogan. Tall, can get after a deep ball every once in a while. Not going to have too much separation. Was a special teamer for a while. Like that's what Mac Hollins is. And if you need to make this offense, if you need this offense to take significant strides at that position, it's trading for A.J. Brown. Which who knows? It's not getting Chris Hogan and Mac Hollins. Just my 2 cents on it. Patriots need to get better in this 2025. They're doing so in free agency. I think the Red Sox got better in free agency, but they just got a huge break, which could help them potentially make the postseason in 2025. Let's talk about it next on the Camp Show.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internix.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Elevate your experience with Grenco Science, the leaders in cutting-edge vaporizers. Whether you're at home or on the go, our sleek, powerful devices deliver smooth, consistent hits every time. Quality you can trust, innovation you can feel. Grenco Science, take your vapor game to the next level. Visit us at GrencoScience.com. At Terrapin Ridge Farms, they believe in the joy of effortless entertaining. Inspired by CEO Mary O'Donnell's mom and her legendary holiday parties, they've crafted a line of gourmet foods that turn any meal into a celebration. From savory jams to mustards, aiolis, and more, their products are made with love, bringing unforgettable flavors to your table. Whether it's a casual get-together or a special occasion, they make it easy to impress. Terrapin Ridge Farms, where great food and great memories come together. Visit them at terrapinridge.com. Terrapin Ridge.
Do you ever have a story that you just can't get out of your head?
One that you play the details of over and over with your friends?
Well, you've come to the right place. I'm Claire.
And I'm Susan.
And this is Justice Pending,
a weekly true crime podcast where we discuss tantalizing crimes with more questions than answers.
Thanks for joining us.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Combine that with OrganicHemp.com's top quality CBD for ultimate balance. Start your healing journey today at GlobalHealing.com and OrganicHemp.com.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
It all began with a simple idea, cutting handles off old ski sticks to create better pull-up bars. This sparked the creation of the revolutionary Angles 90 handles. After testing over 70 prototypes with 300 athletes, our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit angles90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Ready to bring your vision to life? At Small Rig, every idea, design, and product is inspired by you, the creator. With our industry-first under co-design mode and the Dream Rig free customization project, we unite with global creators to turn big dreams into reality. Whether it's a cage rig or mount, Small Rig's versatile gear is built to elevate your craft. Small Rig, where your creativity meets our innovation. Go to smallrig.com.
Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your taste. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com.
Welcome back. It is the Cam Show on Rogue Media Sports Network. Cam Stewart, Zach Burke keeping us on the air. We're live here on YouTube as we are every weekday, high noon Eastern time, and then wherever you get your podcast. Talk about Boston sports 5 days a week. I talked a lot about Patriots free agency in that first segment. The Red Sox got some great news on Monday, much to the dismay of the Yankees and their fans. Big breaking news in the baseball world. Garrett Cole going to have to go under the knife. Tommy John surgery, out for all of 2025 and, part of 2026 as well. Humongous blow to the New York Yankees. No doubt. 2023 Cy Young winner. He's first in every major category of basically the last 10 years. He is their ace. He is their guy. The Red Sox have his number, but they're not going to be able to face him this year. Tough year for Raffy Devers. He's not going to get the extra 5 or 6 homers he gets off of Cole every year. But that is a massive, massive blow to the Yankees, who have not had a good spring training here. Mike Stanton goes out first. Then Luis Gil, he's going to be out till at least June. And so they're basically, I think, your top 2 starters. Rodon would have something to say about that. But I think that's your 2 starters down, top 2 starters. And now Marcus Stroman, who was bitching about needed to be a starting pitcher. Well, here you go, Marcus. You can be the starting pitcher now. And this kid, Will Warren, I think is his name, is had a good spring, and they'll probably have to turn to him earlier than they would have thought. But this really opens the door for the Orioles and the Red Sox. And I think specifically the Red Sox, because I think they have a lot more to prove. And that is just one thing that's out of their way. Garrett Cole. And for the Yankees, I mean, I don't know if you can be talking World Series without Garrett Cole. I don't think that can be an expectation. And, again, Luis Gil with the lat thing is out till June. I've watched a lot of baseball, and I know most of you watching have too. Okay. When they say June to start the season, that then becomes All-Star break, trade deadline, roster expansion day. It always gets backed up. There are always setbacks. You might not have Luis Gil for the whole first half of the season. And you've got a Baltimore team that's hungry to prove they should be back in the postseason that they missed, and the Red Sox trying to do the same thing. And now I know there are questions about the top end of the Red Sox rotation, but at least they're healthy, right? Other than Brian Bayo, who's not in the top end of the rotation anymore. He'll probably start the season on the disabled list. But Garrett Cole out for the year really opens the door for the rest of the AL East. The Yankees are still going to be a good team, and Aaron Judge is still going to be a mutant. But how much different is that without Giancarlo Stanton in the lineup? And what's it like for Carlos Rodon when he's not sandwiched with Luis Gil and Garrett Cole? It's a lot different, man. That's a lot different for the player, for the team. And we talk about how this Red Sox team could be ready to compete, could be a postseason team this year. This is a big step towards that, and something they didn't have to do, right? But you look at this lineup that the Red Sox are probably going to roll out on opening day that does not feature any of those big three, that generational trio of positional prospects that everyone's been raving about, everyone except Tony Maz. Like, there's a real world where all three of those guys come up during the season. And you've got a pretty good lineup right now, with Durant at the top and Devers and Bregman and Casas saying he's going to hit 40 homers. Like, ease up, young buck. I'll be happy if you hit 28. This is a healthy Trevor Story. Knock on wood. This is a lineup that looks like a postseason team. And now they've got to figure out some roles in the starting rotation. Can Crochet give you the full season as the ace? And that would include through October. Is Tanner Houck going to give you another all-star season the way he did last year? What on earth is Brian Bayo going to give you this year? You got Buehler and Giolito coming off injuries. You're hoping you can get, I would say, a good one starter's worth of stats out of them. Maybe 1.5 if they're both healthy for the whole year. This is a team that's ready to get there. And this Garrett Cole injury, while sad for the game, sad for the Yankees, is huge for the Red Sox. Not trying to take a victory lap over Garrett Cole's Tommy John, but that opens up the door big time for the Red Sox and the Orioles in the AL East. I don't think it opens it for Tampa. I don't think it does much for Toronto, but certainly for those two teams, yeah, it does. And it's just going to be fascinating as we get into the summer, how this injury situation develops with the Yankees. I don't think the Yankees had a great offseason. I think there are still holes in that lineup that have typically been plugged by Aaron Judge mostly, but the combination of Judge and Stanton, how much can Aaron Judge plug by himself? Because there are still going to be some holes there. They really thought they had something in Verdugo. They didn't. We could have told them that, decided not to. And they're going to be without him again. No one's signing him. He's a useless player, right? So this Garrett Cole injury does a whole lot for the Red Sox and the Orioles and the Yankees more than anybody. I don't know. I'm not ready to sit here and say they're not going to make the playoffs, but you take the ace out of any team. I don't know. That's a lot on Max Fried's plate. Max Fried was a guy I wanted the Red Sox to go out and get. But there's nothing in his career that's shown he's been a number one guy, ace caliber stuff for an entire season. I think he's a nice middle of the rotation guy, like a really nice middle of the rotation guy, probably a pretty solid number 2 starter. And now it's he and Rodon, who's also been way up and down in his time with the Yankees, to go out there and carry this team through October. A lot of teams would kill to have those two guys at the top of their rotation, but those teams would not have World Series ambitions like the Yankees do. So, massive deal for the Red Sox. And if this is a team that makes the postseason this year, I would consider that ahead of schedule. I don't know about you guys. I think that's ahead of schedule. In fact, it feels like with the talent they have, they're probably ahead of schedule right now. But this is year 2 of a new GM. Like, when you bring in a new GM, that's typically a huge move, like a organizational, foundational move where you are completely shifting philosophies in the way that you run your baseball team. And if they make the playoffs in year 2 and are able to tap into this totally revamped farm system with 3 of the best positional prospects in baseball, then yeah, that's ahead of schedule, man. That's way ahead of schedule, I would say. To go from a team that was 6 games under 500 for, back-to-back years, 3 years in a row, back-to-back years, and then .500 in 2024 to jump to the postseason the next year when you add Garrett Crochet and Alex Bregman and Aroldis Chapman. That's well ahead of schedule and could tip the balance for years to come in the AL East. That window for the Yankees may be closer to shutting than they thought it was. And yeah, it all has a little bit to do with this Garrett Cole injury. He had the elbow injury last year, kept him out till June. They thought it was fixed up. It's not. That's a lingering right elbow injury that now requires the biggest surgery you can get, Tommy John. Now, everyone comes back from Tommy John now, which is key and important, but they don't always come back the same. Garrett Cole might not be the same pitcher when he comes back. And that, again, is a huge deal for the Red Sox and the Orioles down the line when he does come back. Bigger deal for them this year when he's not there. Because I don't know if the Yankees can win this division without him. They weren't doing it when he wasn't on the team. They weren't winning the division. And they've done it once since he's been on the team. I don't know that they're going to be able to make that happen. Can someone let the fucking mailman in the door? Jesus, he's going to make my dog flip out. Anyway, I might as well go to commercial because this is going to keep happening. And that's pretty much all I had to say on the matter. I think the door is open for the Red Sox and the Orioles, if I haven't said that enough. This Garrett Cole injury is huge for the AL, for the AL East, for the New York Yankees, and most importantly, for the Boston Red Sox. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe. We're live on YouTube every weekday, high noon Eastern time, bringing you nothing but Boston sports content on YouTube and then wherever you get your podcasts, with segments on YouTube as well. When we come back, we got to talk some more Bruins drama and what has developed in the Brad Marchand Bruins negotiations. We have numbers, folks. At least we think. So it's time to pick sides. Let's do it next on The Cam Show.
Dive into adventure with scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. With over 20 years of experience, our expert staff, who've dived everywhere from the Galapagos to the Maldives, provides personalized advice to help you find the perfect gear for any underwater journey. Shop leading brands like GoPro, Aqualung, and Scuba Pro. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. BizChair.com, your one-stop shop for premium commercial furniture that blends quality with affordability. From ergonomic office chairs to durable restaurant seating, we cater to diverse industries including corporate, medical, hospitality, and education. With over 20 years of experience, we offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high-traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at BizChair.com to transform your business. Level up your game with Corsair, the global leader in high-performance gear for gamers, content creators, and PC enthusiasts. From award-winning PC components to premium streaming equipment, smart lighting, and esports coaching services, Corsair delivers an ecosystem designed for peak performance. Whether you're a casual gamer or a pro, alleviate your setup with Corsair. Shop now at Corsair.com. That's Corsair.com. Corsair. At Mitzi, we believe the right light can transform any space. Born from a third-generation lighting family, we craft beautifully designed, premium lighting that's made to be affordable. Inspired by Grandma Mitzi's eclectic style, we're on a mission to make high-quality lighting accessible to all. Whether you're updating your space or adding a unique fixture, Mitzi has the perfect design for you. Beautiful, well-made lighting without the high price tag. Discover your perfect light at Mitzi.com. That's MITZI.com. Mitzi. Founded in 1910, Samsonite is the world leader in durable, high-quality luggage and travel accessories. Made to the highest standards, our products won't let you down. We give you the confidence to get out there and explore. Inspired by the past, devoted to the present, and built to inspire a multi-generational future, Samsonite is here to elevate your journey. Travel with Samsonite and pack confidence every step of the way. Shop now at shop.samsonite.com. Samsonite. The grinder mentality that Randy and Brent Habert built into 44 Pro runs deep within our team. Every member shares a passion for the craft, the game, and most importantly, the player. When you step onto the field with a 44 Pro custom glove, you'll feel the difference. It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro. At Angel Bliss, we believe every parent's journey is a beautiful adventure. Our mission is to make it joyful and stress-free with thoughtful, safe, and innovative products. Born from a love for family, we promise peace of mind for parents and comfort for babies. From playtime to bedtime, every Angel Bliss product is designed with care, reliability, and a style to nurture the special bond between parent and child. Angel Bliss, creating happy memories, one baby at a time. Visit us at angelbliss.us. Angel Bliss. Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Join us at golfpartnerusa.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's golfpartnerusa.com. Golf Partner.
Since 2003, Bluehost has been empowering people to harness their brands online with innovative web hosting solutions. Trusted by over 2 million users, we're the longest-running WordPress.org recommended host. With Bluehost, you get a safer, better web experience, supported by the world's most popular site builder, and backed by our commitment to open source projects. Visit Bluehost.com today and take your website to the next level.
That is the Cam Show on Rogue Media Sports Network. Cam Stewart, that's me. Zach Burke keeps us on the air. We are live every weekday on YouTube, high noon Eastern time, and then wherever you get your podcast, talking Boston sports 5 days a week. We've gone over Patriots free agency. We've done a little bit of the luck that the Red Sox have gotten in this Garrett Cole injury. No such luck has been happening with the Bruins. In fact, there's been nothing but drama surrounding the Bruins. There's been no more bigger drama in sports the last week than that between Brad Marchand, the Boston Bruins, and the Boston Bruins fans. We had that Elliot Friedman report the other day talking about how they had a face-to-face meeting, Sweeney and Brad Marchand. Well, implied that it was Sweeney and Brad Marchand. And there were talks of numbers, and there was a sizable gap between what Marchand was asking for in a contract extension and where the Bruins were willing to go. And of course, right away, the fan base completely flipped on Bruins management because, I mean, let's be honest, Bruins management has messed up quite a few things over the last couple of years. Their asset management's been terrible. I think Don Sweeney should still be fired. But I was on here saying, hey, let's listen to the numbers here. You know, Marchand had one of those weird contracts. It was 6.3, technically AAV, but it was kind of front loaded, so he was only getting paid about $3 million. But let's see. This is very vague from Elliot Friedman. We didn't know what the numbers were. We don't know what sizable gap is. That's a subjective term. And now we might have a little bit more insight on what the numbers actually were. So this was a report from Paul Bissonnette of Spit and Chicklets. Great podcast, great guys. You remember they had a report about Don Sweeney and Jeremy Swayman that the Bruins GM said was total bullshit earlier this year. I think these guys are pretty connected. Let's just say that. I think Paul Bissonnette, Biz Nasty, and the rest of the gang are pretty connected. And here's what they had to say about the numbers, the facts and figures in this Brad Marchand extension with the Bruins and what the numbers actually were that they were talking.
Offers exactly what he's making now for 3 years.
Yeah, I heard 663 times 3.
Exactly what he's making now. And Marchand's camp wanted 7.5. And Marchand had a meeting with Don Sweeney. And he went in and he said, I love it here. I've been a Bruin my entire career. I'm willing to meet you guys in the middle. And they would not come up on their offer. I thought that was insane.
That's insane. Crazy. And then,
that's crazy.
I mean, Sweeney talks about how it's a retool. It's not a rebuild. It's a retool.
This draft pick, it's a 2028 conditional 2028 potential first round draft pick. Best case scenario. So you draft a kid in 2028 at the end of the first round. That's 3 years away. You're not seeing a return on this investment 5-6 years. That's crazy. Why not sign the guy? I would have paid him 8-9 mil. I don't care. It helps build the future.
The last couple of lines there are exactly why you can't just trust Bruins fans just being blindly, enraged about something. I would have paid him 8 or 9 mil. He's a part of the Bruins' future. What part of the Bruins' future is Brad Marchand involved in, other than getting his number retired? Love Brad Marchand. Always have. Hate that he had to go just because I'm a big Bruins fan, and I'd love to see him in the uniform. But, what does he have to do with your future? He's going to turn 37 in May, and they're rebuilding, retooling, rebuilding. What is his role? And people will say, oh, he's the captain. He'll tell them the Bruins way and all that. And it's one of two things. First off, I think some of that's overblown. Second off, if there truly is this Bruins way of doing things, David Pastrnak has been on this team for 10 years. Charlie McAvoy's been on this team for 8 years. If they don't know the way, then there is no way. They played with Chara. They played with Bergeron. They played with Krejci. If you need Brad Marchand to be in the room to do that, then there is no such thing as the Bruins way of doing things. There's no way. And that would make a lot of sense as evidenced with how this team has fallen apart this year. But I hate that argument. He's part of your future because he's the captain. Well, if there is such a great Bruins culture, then how about these guys who've been on this team for a decade take that over? Nobody was saying, it stunk when Chara left, but nobody was like, oh, no, don't make Bergeron the captain. That's how this thing works. He's not part of your future, and you're not paying him 8 or 9 million. And as I said, we kind of have to take some sides here. I'm not paying him $7.5 million a year. I'm sorry. I'm not paying Brad Marchand $22.5 million through age 39 when I need to retool this team. I'm kind of with the Bruins on that one. At some point, this is a business. I love Marchand. I would love for him to play here. And I understand he wants to make more money than Elias Lindholm. Trust me, I get that. I'd rather him make more money than him too if it was all in a vacuum, all things being equal. But we are talking about a guy who's turning 37 in May and just had 3 surgeries last offseason. I can't justify giving a guy $22.5 million through age 39. I can't do it. And I can't sit here and be like, well, look at all he's done for the franchise. That's not how this works. This is not a Disney movie. Okay? It would be great if there wasn't a salary cap. There is. And you need to influx a ton of talent into this team. It doesn't just come with paying a 39-year-old $7.5 million. It doesn't make any sense, guys. He's going to be 40 by the end of that contract. I'm sorry. I don't like the moves the Bruins management has made. I don't like Don Sweeney being at the helm. I don't want him to be making the draft picks here and going through this retool. I would so much rather than go and get somebody else. But if the option is praise Don Sweeney for not making this deal or criticize Don Sweeney for not making this deal, I'm sorry, you got to praise the guy. $7.5 million a year, even with the raised salary cap. Not for me. He's a valuable guy to a contender right now. He's not valuable to a rebuild. I'm sorry. He's just not. Do I have to switch this over? Do I have to switch it to the Bruins side here behind me? I'm sorry. I'm not on board with that. And honestly, I think it sucks that you had to do that to a guy that has been such a big part of your organization for so long, but I would draw a hard line around 6.3, 6.5. And the Bruins wanted to go 2 years, and Marchand wanted to go 3. They actually did say, okay, fine, we'll negotiate 3 years. But we're not doing that number. And so it kind of comes down to, if Brad Marchand really loved Boston and really wanted to stay here, he could have stayed here. Like, at the end of the day, I don't mind a guy going and chasing his bag, so to speak. I don't know if this is a huge bag for him, right? Like, I don't mind that. But then don't come and say, I never wanted to leave Boston. You were okay with leaving Boston when they didn't meet that number. And weirdly enough, like, I'm not a professional athlete, but I've been there in jobs, right? Where you love a job, you love the people you work with, but you're just not making enough money. And you got to move on. It stinks. But then you can't say like, I wish I never had to leave that. I never wanted to leave that. It's like, no, at some price, I was willing to leave that. We've all been through something like that in our lives. Brad Marchand, no different. Going to give him $7.5 million to basically age 40? I'm okay saying no to that. And if it means we have an awkward couple of months and him in a Panthers uniform and an awkward 2 years of him in somebody else's uniform at age 38 or 39, so be it. And yeah, this will sting if the Bruins continue to suck, if they don't get this rebuild done fairly quickly. But honestly, the way I look at this and the capital they now have and the cap space they could have with the extended cap, they could be a playoff team like next year. I'm not ready to put the house on it yet, but they could be next year. And at that point, you're not going to be thinking, damn it, man, I wish we gave $1.2 million more to Brad Marchand as he's scoring 45 points somewhere else. I am a Marchand guy. I think the Bruins have mismanaged assets. I think we're kind of past the day and age where they're disrespecting their stars. That seems to still be a thing. This is not bringing Ray Bourque to arbitration in the 90s, okay? This is not that. It was literally like the second best player in your history, and you brought him to arbitration. This is not that. Letting Zdeno Chara walk was not that. Letting Torrey Krug walk was not that. And letting Brad Marchand go, not sign and trade him at the trade deadline to a team that he clearly wanted to go to. Again, according to that Elliot Friedman report, that was the team he chose. Then I can't get as fired up about that as some Bruins fans are. I think that's the right move. I'm sorry. I do. And I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me, but I think that's the right move that the Bruins made to move on from a guy at age 38, 39. And I'm amazed at some of these analysts that still just buy into that. Like Mike Grinelli, he knows his stuff. He's a great Bruins fan. Like, I get that. But like, really, Biz, like, you've been around this game for a long time, man. And you don't understand how the Bruins could do that? Might I remind you, he's turning 37 in May. I hated the return they got for him, but clearly it seems like Marchand had handpicked the team, so I'm sure the Panthers kind of backed them into a corner. I hate the return they got for him, but I'm not mad at them for balking at that compromise. And because all we hear in the media the first few days is the Bruins were not willing to compromise. They hate Brad Marchand and are willing to spit in the face of all their fans and take a dump on the tradition of this organization. From what we just heard from the pro Brad Marchand Spittin' Chicklets guys, that report, that sentiment is not at all true. The Bruins drew a hard line because this is a business. And they've done a poor job in business the last few years, and they need to turn it around. This was the balls on the table move they needed to make. They needed to draw a line in the sand, and they did it. If they can come to a different number and Marchand can come back in the summer, a cheaper number than $7.5 million a year for 3 years, maybe even if it's $7.5 million for 2 years, that is a big difference. Then maybe I'm saying, all right, fine. Be great to have him back and retiring as a Bruin. But based off that number right there, $7.5 million for 3 years to go through age 39, I don't need that for this Bruins retool. I don't need that. I don't think he's a part of your future. And look at Grinelli kind of His voice goes way down at the end there. He's like, oh, I don't want to get too much into that point because that's not correct. That's not a good point. He's not part of the Bruins' future. So, anyway, it would be better for Bruins fans if he retires a Bruin, but not at those numbers. I'm sorry. I can't have that. I can't believe I'm taking the Bruins side in this, but I'm going to be taking their side in this. I think you're crazy if you wanted to pay him $7.5 million a year over the last 3 years of his career. Do I want him to make more than Elias Lindholm? Yeah, I do. I think that's fair. But Elias Lindholm should be making $2 million. That's a game we can't play here. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Whether the Bruins should have kept Brad Marchand around, if that number was okay for you. Let me know in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe. We're bringing you fresh Boston sports content every single weekday, live on YouTube, high noon Eastern time, and then wherever you get your podcasts and the segments to boot. For Zach Burke, for keeping us on the air, thank you. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. We will see you tomorrow on The Cam Show.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internex.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Tusains, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Tusains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.